You gentlemen, and once again bringing you the last map of the night, it is Vancillion Blue. Take it away, gentlemen.
Thank you, guys. Let's get ready for this last map between the phenomenal Obey Trifecta versus Winterfox on Dust 2, with Obey Trifecta on the CT side and Winterfox on TD side. And look at that, Moses actually calling for Obey Trifecta to win this map, and Richard Lewis said it's going to be a 16-14, so this is going to go to the last wire. Let's see if it's actually going to happen, Blue. Take it away with the action.
There's an obvious reason for that. Winterfox, they're not phenomenal.
That's exactly why.
Wander's telling us straight up how it goes. Anyway, getting into the action here. Winterfox actually taking it nice and slow to start things off here, as they're going to be jumping onto the T side to begin Dust 2, our final map. Obey actually with two players aggressively pushed up towards long. Maybe thinking about heading into the doors there, but they're going to have to reverse that decision really quickly. A great flash comes out from the CTs, though, and immediately 2 and now 3 kills as DSR also able to pick up a frag back over there on Cat. XP3 finally responding to it, but he gets traded out almost immediately by Breezy. Just on Desi now, it looks like Obey have complete control of the situation here to start off on their CT side.
Great start there for Obey Trifecta, just because of that flash that was thrown. Even on top of that, DSR committed for a flash and a smoke from the round before and didn't even need to use them, because they actually killed 3 guys trying to push out towards long A from that initial flash to get those easy 3 picks. Yeah, XP3 did a great job by an entry with a headshot as soon as he came in, but there was no more information given out. He knew somebody was inside that pit area, but not exactly where. But Breezy, this up-and-comer, this young player for Obey Trifecta, gets 2 kills in his pistol round, and he's, what, 17 years old?
Yeah. A lot of very young players here. There was one of the guys from EasyG was like 15 or something like that, and the one that was doing the best too. Morbid, I think his name was. But Breezy coming in, pick up that first kill. XP3, good on the scout, though, able to find a second one, and Lex with some assistance from XP3 finding another one. However, DSR's got the scout too, trying to smoke his way out. This might work. They don't actually catch him. A Desi quick enough on the draw. They're able to pick up the headshot. And now both 8, along with no one, are going to have to come back in towards this site. As Winterfox do take quick enough control. No one almost caught mid-air there by Flowsick, but as he works his way back in, it'll be Flowsick that wins the battle versus the rifle.
With another jump in return.
Yeah.
And another jump kill. And another one.
As 8 is able to find XP3. Takes him down. Now he's got to play this very slowly too, because he still has to find Desi. Hasn't spotted him on the site as yet. Getting himself up there, finding one more. Now it's just Desi, but Desi on point with those headshots. He's going to close it out and immediately tie this up.
That's crazy. I think they went for this. They went for this buy without even a bomb plan. So they had a scout in the hands of XP3 to get an entry on Catwalk inside A. Now we have a double scout happening on the other side, though, for Obey Trifecta, but that's some ballsy play for Winterfox on that second round. You had Tech-9s, you had scouts, you probably had nothing to work with in terms of armor or utilities, and you're able to still open that up, and XP3 getting one, as they have actually a 4-man peek towards middle. He's going to spot that information, moving down as well. A second headshot onto Ape, and trying to go for a third, but he spots the last 2 guys here towards mid side and lower B. This is going to be maybe not it yet, because no one apparently is able to connect onto Anger, and Slemmy does the same onto XP3.
So we do have those 2 still left alive, and there's still a chance for them to be able to pick this up, but it honestly doesn't even look like they're going to attempt it. They're falling back now. Lex trying to spray them down. We should mention there too that that XP3 almost managed to pick up that 3rd kill. He lit up. I think it was Slemmy. Yeah. Lex has come in here and has managed to bring no one down to about 35 HP. Steel's alive. They're falling away, heading into pit. Safe zone for them. But Lex picking up 1, trying to find that second one. He gets himself inside a pit. How long can he stay? Here's the question. As everyone else from Winterfox is on the way as well.
Not too long. You got a nade in your hands as well from Desi as soon as he closes in right now. Both of them are pitching across from T-spawn. That bomb is going to go off, and even at this point, Slemmy's trying to do his best to salvage the smoke at the same time. So he's not throwing it out, doesn't manage to survive, and it's going to be 2-1. And that was, again, a ballsy play, this time from Obey Trifecta, though, going with a double scout setup. And now finally we're probably going to see a safe full one coming through from the CT side.
Yep, so this one, unfortunately, they don't really have much of a choice. The highest amount that their players are sitting on right now is like 2.2K over here on no one. Everyone else is either near that or below it, unfortunately. So pretty much a full save coming out from these guys. I think the only thing that ends up getting ball is a flash for Slemmy, just to try and hold off his own angle. But Ape is going to be pressured first here as Winterfox walk all 5 of their players, with the exception of Lex, inside of the B-bomb site. Ape actually is able to sneak through with 1 kill here, but the rest of these players are just getting absolutely plowed through by Winterfox. All 5 go down there. They only lose 1 along the way. That's a clean take there by the members of Winterfox.
Yeah, there's really nothing more you could do for Obey Trifecta. Again, they went for a full save, didn't buy anything at all. They've wasted a lot of money already on the second round and on the 3rd round here, so they wanted to salvage as much as they can moving on to this one. But even here, you won't have an AWP in the hands of DSR yet. So what is usually a pug map or what is most comfortable for a lot of these players. Oh, nice wall shot there from XP3 onto no one, taking them down to 35 HP. But we talked about it a little bit, Blue. It's going to come to sheer aim in these face-to-face battles, and so far they're bringing it up. I mean, with the pistol, the ecos, it was in favor of Obey Trifecta. The eco was in favor, or should I say, the force bite in favor of Winterfox, with openings from XP3 with the scout. XP3 still going hard with the scout on the third round after. Now let's see what it's going to come down to face-to-face with rifles for Obey Trifecta against Winterfox.
Desi as well has like really been on point with his accuracy. Those Tech 9s in that one round,
yeah,
those are some great shots from him. So
definitely.
him and XP3 are like the big reason as to why these guys were actually able to steal away the lead after Obey picked up the pistol. And Obey themselves like losing it, and oh, this sucks for DSR right now. He's getting lit up. I don't think they fully realized he was sitting back there as of yet though, but Flosic coming. The second test is going to be spotting that player behind Big Blue, but it looks like he actually falls back and away from that, not wanting to take the risk.
Yeah, and thankfully though, they're steel doors and not wooden doors of what it used to be. He would have been dead instantly there, but XP3's side getting the kill inside tunnels. Flosic entry, but traded out by Breezy. 1 minute advantage for WFX to try to work out towards this B-bomb site.
Ape looking to hold a close corner just outside of the mid doors too. He's waiting for some action to come in from there after one of their aggressive CT players ended up getting cut off on the entry to the tunnels there. He's hoping he's going to catch something coming out of the mid doors, but so far not finding it. Breezy's going to push in a moment. Lex looking at the complete wrong direction to catch that player. Slemmy is going to be able to take him down. The CT is still finding some ground to stand on here in this round, but now as they pressure in, they don't have a smoke to cover that door as of yet, but XP3 is still successful in jumping across it. Going to be able to get the bomb down. Now two more of the Winterfox players. They get themselves into the tunnels, but Breezy holding out their anger, finishing both of them down though. Breezy and Slemmy both getting finished off. The last one, Ape, trying to push in through the window here and consistently doing so. Now trying to wrap back around XP3, nice up and close. That's going to be very dangerous to move in from that angle. Tries to reposition himself back over here towards the doors, but he's also got anger behind the big box there. Smart decision, nothing he can do. He's got to fall back and save.
Yeah, no flashes to come in inside the site. It's a 2 versus 1. Your pulse plant, there's almost no time remaining actually. He's going to look for some exits actually outside the B halls, and looks like that's exactly where XP3 and Anger are going right now. You can see Ape setting up right now at the lower B halls. Spots him, headshot. Taking one down, but the op is still alive in the hands of XP3. At least he did some economical damage for Obey Trifecta. Phenomenal play. But at the end of the day, it is still going to be Winterfox winning that round, all thanks to Lex as well. You were mentioning, Blue, he was looking at the wrong angle because they actually heard that guy up atop mid. So he was expecting for that peek, but they went for that double peek from both sides. He was sandwiched. But thanks to that, at least, him dying, gave enough information for Flosic and for Anger to look back inside the B tunnels and hold it.
So considering they're able to close that out quite nicely, we're still looking at a very, very unstable CT side economy from Obey Trifecta right now. Like in general, picking up the pistol round, buying up, and then losing it like really messes things up in the works of the CT side. So
I love those boosts. And away stacks are the best.
They've tried to get it back now, but Winterfox moving themselves in quickly enough here as they push themselves up on a cat. We did see one kill already picked up by the player with the Rambler. Slemmy almost lining up the shots onto Flosic there. It's going to bring him down to 5 HP. The rest actually very, very slow and actually trying to get some forward momentum going here towards Cat. And they are falling back to a certain degree, watching out for a flank more so than anything. But as they take it slower, Lex is able to line up the kill onto the rifle player. Desi finding a second one here, shuts down Slemmy as well. No one's going to try to use that smoke. They're both on either side of it right now, as you can see, as they're switching back and forth between the perspectives. But Flosic catching it with some assistance from Lex. Taking him down, and now just 2 left alive. Basically with some very, very weak pistols and no armor behind either of them.
Yeah, and he's going to need a lot of nades, but at least it's going to be Flosic with so low health to move up towards Catwalk, but still loses that fight. So Breezy's going to be the last man standing. Still trying to salvage that AK-47 on Catwalk by getting pushed by Lex from mid doors, and that is 5-1, and this is looking to be some quick rounds so far, executed by Winterfox.
This is unfortunately for Obey. This is like Winterfox's Mirage all over again.
Yeah.
But they're getting some very, very clean rounds, and like I said before, like even on Inferno, we didn't really see their T-sides economy stacking up so much, and we're seeing it quite a bit here with the couple of the members of Winterfox. That their economy is able to get to a very, very strong point, and that's something you do not see very often on Winterfox, either on the T or the CT side.
Look at this aggressive push. They're using that boost up on Catwalk for DSR to opt towards the suicide drop. He's about to look back towards the barrels. Misses the shot, though, unfortunately. I think he got the leg shot. Was that a leg shot onto Desi? Oh, Desi,
He might have hit him through that light
No, Desi's lower B, so it was...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it wasn't him. So I don't know what happened there, but that should have connected. And because of that, pays the price. Headshotted by XP3. Going for that creep, the crab walk. So I creep. Yeah. As Flosic then gets another one onto Slemmy. So it's a 5-on-3 situation. Taking over this A site right now. Open for business. Breezy's by himself. Taken down by Flosic as well at long. So the last two guys at this point, just time to save.
And again, there's just no choice to it. This is a problem that I talked about on the last map that I expected Winterfox to have more so, but it seems like Obey is struggling from right now. The rotations are way too slow when there's still players that are left alive on the alternate site. They're like remaining fully committed to it, even when the members of Obey are given signs that Winterfox are fully pushing in towards it. So they're given no choice but to save. Like even if like 2 more of these players from Winterfox were dead, Winterfox would still have full control of the A site, and there would be virtually 0 options for them to actually A, get towards the A site in time, and then B, make the retake successfully. Now
they get rid of that AWP, so that's going to be very costly right now for phenomenal Obey Trifecta. No one with only $650 left. He's going to be able to get the first kill inside the tunnels, but Lex then moves in for that trade. And that's okay for WFX to actually lose these players. Look at the economy that's built so far on their side. I mean, you got 10K for 3 players across the board pre-buy. Flowstick at 4K and Anger at 4.4. Meanwhile, on the other side, preventing them from saving that AWP and that M4, they're on... looks like to be just a pistol buy. They do have enough to go for a force if they wanted to in terms of FAMAS's 4.57 armor or some shotgun play. But look at this lineup. They're going to go for a choo-choo up at middle.
The question is, when do they execute it here now? As I think they're going to hope for some cat play, but so far they're not really getting too much of it. Anger, if anything, will be caught off guard by this, but I think he spotted this play now. Throws that smoke in, and they're rolling in, but actually, no one's looking back yet. And they're going to keep themselves quiet after they get past that barrel there at top of it. This could catch them completely off guard, especially if they explode outside of those long doors. They've got one player, Ape, is going to rotate back towards A to at least keep the illusion alive that they still had a default setup here. But these players have to watch out. There's nobody watching the flank right now. They're all coming out, and out they go. Here comes the shot. 2 kills for the CTs. Winterfox nailing themselves, but 2 more coming in from Obey right now. Ape, no one and no one again. Shut it down. And what an upsetting round for Winterfox.
How did that happen?
No one's watching the flank.
But at the same time, they ran up that ramp. You're playing close to that close to those long doors. I thought you would have heard them by now.
No.
That's
They were
crazy.
too far away, I think.
That is crazy.
Also, like, you're not going to expect something like that. Even if you
That's
did hear
true.
it, maybe like 1 player, 4 of them though.
That's
You're
true.
not going to expect 4 players to come outside long doors.
The lurker, which was Lex, just played at the wrong spot as well. He was looking up towards that lower mid doors a little bit too late. Everybody already made it their way up towards middle at the same time. At least the economy's still in there for Winterfox, but that's a great sort of pistol buy coming in for Obey Trifecta, because we did have a few of them with small armor as well, and they managed to come out of that with basically only 2 casualties, so not much economy wasted on their side, and on top of that, they have a win. Great play.
So now this obviously slows down Winterfox to a very big degree, as they're going to want to be making sure they can check every single corner here, so that something like that does not happen again. Still, as you mentioned before, though, the economy is still in a very decent spot here for Winterfox, so they had no trouble getting the full buy back into their hands. Same story now for Obey Trifecta. I almost said Trifecta.
That's okay. We could invent words. You're a caster.
Is that
You're
a
allowed.
word?
I don't know. It could be.
I think that's a word. It's a name.
Richard Lewis will let us know. He's
Anyway.
going to Google it up on the
Slummy
dictionary.
picks up the first kill of the round there, shuts down Lex. CT's holding strong for the time being, but this is going to be a mid to B split now coming out from Winterfox. Pushing in towards that B site. Ape and Slemmy, great job of holding out mid there. They split the remaining players up. They're partially in this B site, but they still have not dispatched no one. Little do they realize he's not even here right now. Unfortunately, his shot's not connecting so well, but he finds it when it matters. Shuts down Desi. And Obey Trifecta, if you manage to pick up another round here.
No one was basically standing on the edge of the fire that was burning right in front of them. So on the T side, they expected from that molly being thrown that they actually, nobody would be there because nobody's burning down, nobody's peeking out. And then suddenly, even the flames or the smoke coming out from the flames actually covers no one from the T's that are pushing out from the tunnel side, and is able to just go for that, for the easy kill, nobody watching towards that area.
And there's DSR again, winning another op battle here, takes down XP3. Anger looking for the trade, but can't connect any of the damage here. And now, unfortunately for Winterfox, already their economy is going to be in the dirt here. The only big buy we have is Desi with the scout, but obviously that was bought by XP3. And he's now picked it up off his corpse. No one else really bringing anything besides those Deagles.
4 Deagles and a scout. And it's a double op setup, actually, for the CT side. Unfortunately, the first one's missed. The second one's missed. They're given a lot of room for maneuver, actually, for Winterfox is inside the A site. Lex gets a 1 dig onto Breezy. Ape cannot connect with his AWP. Elise gets the support from Slemmy, who himself cannot connect with the M4. At least he gets a nade. This should be the kill. No, it's too far back to get the bomb plant. Now at least to get the retake, but mission successful right now for Winterfox to at least get the plant. Flowstick looking for some kills. And DSR finally takes him down, but that's all they needed.
That Deagle work was sloppy, unfortunately. If we had seen the Deagle shots connecting more consistently, that actually could have been a bounce back round for Winterfox, but unfortunately, just never really seeing anything hit where it needed to, and Obey actually have a pretty successful retake. So now again, heading into this next round, the single save, and again, Winterfox were still in a decent enough position to where they could buy those deagles, and now heading into this round, still have a full buy for themselves. So it's not necessarily like some of those previous maps where they were like just being done completely out of context, and it kind of screwed them over to getting a full buy on CTs next round. The one thing it has actually messed up now is that XP3 can't get armor behind his op buy in this round.
That's fine. Glass cannon, there you go. It's a one-shot kill. They went for that boost this time for DSR. He looked at the right angle, looking back towards that suicide drop one more time. Gets the kill as well. Now they're just going to try to lurk back up on this catwalk side. This is something that the Winterfox has been doing that looked really good at the beginning of this half, is they're not overthinking their strategies. They're like, okay, let's commit towards A. Easiest way to do it, go for a split, go for a push, and just bring the fight to them. They're not trying to go for a fakes. They're not going to try to take control of a mid to B split so far. I think they only did it like once in this half. But with losing one player early in this round, it's going to be a little bit harder for them to take this A side.
They're getting ready now to press their way in towards the A site. They've got some coverage back over towards long in the pit too for the number 9 man, Flowsick, to roll his way back outside of the long doors. All the stuff starts to come in for the T's now, the nades and whatnot, not really forcing any repositions, and also completely missing the player. Wow, that's just an absolute shutdown from Obey. Winterfox, they didn't even get past that first wrap there on Cat.
Yeah, and that's because they don't have that opera with XP3. I mean, the way that he was scouting it to get those entries on that second round was key for them. He needed to win that fight against DSR, who played it and gambled it actually up on that catwalk. And because of that, he's able to get that pick down towards suicide. Well, nobody was playing towards lower B to go for a trade. So there's a little bit of mispositioning on how Winterfox want to execute right now, or Obey Trifecta are just really comfortable of how they want to push things and at the right moment. Because, again, that strat that they had, the crazy one with the pistols with the train up at mid, you don't expect that. Now, Winterfox are trying to do the same thing, pushing down towards mid themselves. Off shot by DSR, down to 12 HP, smoke coming through, but no one still inside the B double doors. Getting 1 and 2, as 8 also supporting him at the window side. Finally, Desi getting 2 deagle headshots here, but does not have that bomb. It is dropped down by Turtlebox, and he's going to have to try to connect some more. At least he spots Breezy making his way towards mid double doors, but I think at the same time, Breezy spotted that bomb, so that's why you don't really see the CTs rotating out. So Daisy's going to use the time to his advantage to pick up the M4, reload, and also has small armor, so he could possibly get something done here.
He's going to get a lot of room in his favor, though, as he starts to push out now. Ooh, almost going to be able to connect that kill over there on a Slemmy, but just barely beats him with 5 HP left. So again, Obey tie up the scoreline now, but 6 for each team. And obviously Obey here, too, as we take a look at their own money, they're starting to build up quite a big bank with 2 players, apologies, post-buy being over 10K, and 3 others still, with plenty in excess.
Well, looks like XP3 is going to ask for some technical support, so it's not going to be a timer that counts. And I'm just looking overhand right now. It seems to be Angers' side and an issue that he might have with his keyboard. So he's setting up that right now. So let's take the time to analyze what's happening so far. It started off so well for Winterfox since that force buy on the second round. They won 6 rounds in a row. Now Obey Trifecta somehow comes back with 5 in a row, and that started since that eco.
Ever since that eco they won, they've just, again, for whatever reason, Winterfox completely dropped the ball in all their takes, and they're just getting shut down round after round. Like that one round before that we just saw. I think not necessarily the last round, but the one directly before that, when they tried to go for just this direct cat push after they had already lost XP3, with just 2 players there, and a third comes to assist later on, but they just completely shut it down. They don't even get past, there's like the first turn there as you start to push your way up towards cat. They don't even get past that point.
Yeah.
Just completely destroyed.
And I think at the same time now you're looking at Winterfox's, I guess, matches. Its history repeats in the sense that when they got eco'd against their first matchup against Optic, when they got eco'd on, I think it was Mirage that they were playing, they actually just started losing a crap load of, no, actually it was Overpass. They started losing a crap load of rounds from that eco. Now they're getting eco'd from that train that happened from middle up to the A flank, and they just started losing rounds after rounds after rounds again. I think they're shook every time they get eco'd. It just throws them off. They can't maintain the composure so far. You do have somebody standing behind them. I think it's their coach as well, trying to keep things calm, but also with Travis being the sponsor from SteelSeries, keeping an eye over them. But you can see it sometimes, Lex, it gets to them whenever they're not getting the rounds that they want to, especially after they're getting eco'd. They're just tilted.
We're seeing another player as well from Obey actually come a lot more into the picture this time, which is Ape.
Yeah.
He's doing really good job. Where previously it was sort of sitting a little bit lower on the score line, not necessarily, you know, around like the third or fourth area for the team. This time he's actually tied for first with two of his other teammates. DSR again, I don't think to the surprise really of most people, and no one also repeating his efforts from the previous map. He's also up at 10 frags right now.
Well, we have resumed things, ladies and gentlemen. It is 6-6. All tied up between Obey Trifecta and Winterfox. This is the third map, do or die for both of these teams. Whoever loses this, unfortunately, goes home. And whoever wins this will face off against enemy in the championship bracket tomorrow for the CSGO America's Minor Championship. This time, Winterfox trying to push up towards that catwalk. A little bit of an NA nade there, bouncing it off the wall at a wrong placement. So now information given away as that was wasted there for Winterfox.
Now they're going to fall back, moving most of their players just outside of the long doors where you've got Breezy trying to hold this, sitting behind Big Blue. We'll see in a minute here if he's going to be able to hold that angle and surprise members of Winterfox. Keep in mind, again...
Did you name that box after you?
No. Someone else called it that. There's another caster who cast this one time.
Nice.
Forget who named it that. But anyway, out they come. Breezy is killed looking at a wall, so unfortunately that doesn't go very well for him at all. And actually, again, the big thing now is, did he realize that there's so many players coming? But DSR is going to see this anyway now. So as these players start to push their way back up long, he's going to be the big pressure situation. Abe is able to connect another one as he has that double op set up now working on the CT side. And Slemmy, unfortunately, not able to connect his own shot. So XP3 striking back a little bit. This brings it down to a 2 versus 2. Final 2 from Obey are completely off that A site. So this is going to be a rough retake for them.
And that was a gamble, man, because they crossed without having a smoke towards the CT spawn. That gave a huge opening for Abe to get that first kill, but they somehow managed to be able to cross, trade it back, get a bomb plant set up as well. Oh, shot missed though by XP3, trying to reload on time, but to no avail. Now Anger is caught in the open, giving away his position as well by a spray that's missed, both with a double peek. He loses that one. No one gets the frag. They come in for the defuse. Plenty of time right now, and they take the lead, and should I say, retake the lead in this matchup.
And that's the problem here with a lot of these teams, and I think is it affecting Winterfox. It is affecting Winterfox once again, I should say now, as we're starting to see players who before weren't really showing signs of issues now. There's that potential like, oh my god, we may lose to these guys, and I think it's getting to them a little bit here, and they're starting to make mistakes where they normally shouldn't.
At the same time, we could see how things are going to pan out, though, on the second half. I mean, a lot of teams so far have been having good results on CT side of those 2 these days, and it starts off with this. I mean, they're going to take it step by step, round by round. XP3 getting the wall shot onto no one, down to 37 HP. So we've seen this a few rounds ago right now. DSR trying to peek through that mid-double doors towards lower B, but a nice shutter flash, actually. Prevents it from getting that shot, connecting that shot, and falling back towards CT spawn. Now they leave middle open, so this could be big right now for Winterfox to go for a mid to B split, although nobody's actually inside B tunnels to go for this split. So it's just reset. They see how aggressive Obey Trifecta are playing as they want to try to catch them on this aggressive push that they're playing, on this aggressive playstyle. Meanwhile, look at that. Slemmy's all the way at the cave at long.
They are, to a certain degree, expecting things to either come out towards long, as you were just mentioning there, or they're also expecting a possible mid to B play too. They're trying to keep players a little bit closer to rotate in from CT, and you can see no one's like jumping over here towards the window to watch out for the push that comes in. But now they see this huge rush coming outside of the long doors, so the rotations have to come in quick enough. Desi, though, also keeping himself in the tunnels to watch out for some action there as they try to get that early push going back in over towards Cat. Winterfox taking this very slow.
Yep.
And some of the members of Obey moving off the site, maybe a little bit too early.
That's okay. They don't want to play any fakes right now. They just want to try to catch some people off guard. They're waiting for Desi on that flank, and Desi's going to call for that flank. So you do have now number 8. That's going to be XP3 watching that flank. So that's one less guy to actually execute inside the A bomb site. So this could be big for Obey Trifecta right now. So they managed to get the first kill. They still try to move inside that site. XP3 finally connects. They're going to move back in, but Breezy's still alive at quad.
Finally, he's taken down now by Lex.
Yep.
And again, this is actually a very, very clean round from Winterfox compared to what we've been seeing now for the past about 3 to 4. DSR is the last one alive, just barely missing the shot that would kill Desi.
Yeah.
That box in front of him manages to save his life. He's down at 11 HP now, and for DSR, has to think about his own life because he's only at 8 HP.
And DSR at this point, he's getting hunted down at the same time too. He's about to get spotted at mid from XP3, and there you go, shot from behind, executed. And that is now going to be, should be 7-6 our score overall. No, 7-7, sorry. And they managed to salvage another AWP. So now it's going to be the terrorist team playing with the double op setup. Make that a triple op setup as they're going to try to go for that cheeky peek at mid double doors. And can they connect this time? I mean,
yeah,
they did it before with XP3 through the door. If they can connect with the second one, that's one guy down early in the round.
They get the HE in the correct spot, though, so they're not going to be able to spawn anything through that. So that's good play from Obey. They managed to keep themselves obscured here a little bit. And I'm not sure, I think that was an extra op that got scavenged, right?
Yep.
So that's not of any extra cost to them. So again, they're able to do that, but this entry here coming out of the B site goes successfully up to the point they find Ape. He's able to trade out one more. Desi quick enough to draw that back. And again, 3 kills to 1 on the initial entry here, but then Slemmy rolling back in, catching one of these players from Winterfox completely off guard there. Flow6 sitting down at 1 HP now. DSR coming in, catches XP3 right in his back. And all of a sudden, this is an even 2 versus 2 with Flow6 down at 1.
Yeah.
Basically a dead man walking.
And because he was caught with an 8 in his hand one more time, I mean, this is recurrent with Winterfox. But at least he's hidden behind the pillar.
Ooh.
Nice shot by DSR, and just like that, Slemmy takes down Lex at the same time inside this B bomb site. They're going to come in for the defuse, and the first map is going to end in favor of Obey Trifecta with an 8-7 score, actually taking the lead. Playing CT side first.
Very, very fragile lead, though. That's the key thing here,
Yeah,
and that's the thing we've been seeing with both of these teams throughout this entire set. As that really anything can happen in quite a few of these rounds. Obey really have to give credit to them, though, on that strat they used that managed to really bounce them back into the game. When they made that huge push, going through the mid doors and going back up, and actually completely catching everyone on Winterfox off guard. That was what really allowed them to bounce back into this game. This could have ended a completely different scoreline had that play have not happened.
Oh yeah, and definitely you're looking at the way that the first half has actually played off. DSR maintaining his AWP skills from Inferno into the A bomb side, playing Dust 2 on CT side. I mean, I think if they could keep leveraging him on the T side, getting these entry picks, or should I say even trying to get the pick towards middle, this could be huge right now for Obey Trifecta to actually upset Winterfox.
Yeah, and again, as we were talking about it before, one player that we actually haven't seen as much of this map is Breezy. He's still been present, and again, most of these players are really doing quite a fantastic job. When you look at it, it's not like 3 or 4 players, like 2 or 3 players, I should say, like leading the frag count completely over the rest of their teammates. This is a problem for some North American teams. Everybody's pulling their weight. Breezy's a little bit lower this time, but Ape stepped up to take his place.
Yeah, it's just because I'm trying to figure out maybe where Breezy was playing on this first half. Maybe he was playing towards B, where they actually didn't see that much action because it was always execution from Catwalk, execution from A. You had Slemmy playing towards long. You had DSR opting towards Cat. You also had some support from middle, and that's really all they needed. I mean, the retakes were not needed in most of the cases because they were just able to take them all down. I mean, if I look at this, they've only went in for a defuse 3 times, and the rest of the rounds that they won out of 8, it was all kills. So it was 5 rounds where they just won by just kills and holds.
All right, well, we're going live now, guys, with the final half of the day of our final map of our final match.
This is sad.
Why is it sad?
I want to keep going. There's so much good CS going on right now.
We got plenty coming up tomorrow, man.
That's right. 3
Greenwall's
best out of 3s.
going to play again.
Yeah, that's true. Can't take that away. And this time, it's going to be Winterfox on the CT side, starting with an anyway stack at middle. But that's some thick smoke at mid double doors and Catwalk. So no information will be given out. And a flash for them to push through. Anger gets the opening kill, but they're still coming in through with 4 guys. And they're just spamming through the smoke. And Flow6 somehow is not going to shoot. He's just going to wait it out. And now Slemmy, they're just basically just shooting through smoke, hoping to get some lucky kills. And they finally managed to get one onto no one. Desi inside the tunnels getting one as well. And that is going to be a 1-minute advantage in favor of the CTs. And the bomb has yet to be planted. So this could be huge, especially if Winterfox could actually win this round without letting Obey Trifecta go in for a plant. Slemmy down to 16 HP as he's flying from lower B tunnels. They're pushing in from the window as well. Breezy's giving his position away, gets the bomb plant. At least there's that.
Slemmy with a nice shot. They're able to take down Lex finally, and Breezy with a great angle versus Flow6. But now XP3 coming in, and look at how low Slemmy is now. Down at 16 HP, just has to get the proper angle, but XP3 taking some shots, down at 25, and Slemmy is going to finish it off.
You needed basically a one-tap. A one-tap in the head, of course, but if you hit him in the shoulder twice, he's dead. He had 4 or 5 bullets left to work with. I mean, that's why XP3 didn't see him try to go for that spray. He wanted to salvage as many bullets as he could to try to get that win. But unfortunately, nothing connects, and we've seen that on his pistol side of Inferno as well. When those guys are pushing in on the pistol side on Archway, he didn't connect there either. But these guys don't care. Time to go for more scout buys, and it's going to be Lex and XP3 double tap, double team onto DSR.
Oh, and there's Anger with one eagle shot, looking for more. There's plenty more players from Obey sitting inside there, but they know he's hugging that right side, trying to go for the peek. There's another one onto no one. Can he get the third? Looking to line it up, but thankfully Ape is able to keep himself alive at the very least.
He did get a third, I think. Yeah, he got a trip kill there,
Did he actually
Anger.
get the triple?
Yeah,
wow.
that's crazy.
That's a great shutdown from Winterfox. And again, look, members of Obey pick up the pistol, and they lose the round right after that. So Winterfox not want to go down without putting up a fight.
Yeah, and this time it's for them to not get egoed again. But it's only P250s right now. Well, I guess they're going for Tech 9s. They got flashes as well, so I'm expecting an aggressive push, probably a mid to B, and a flash move inside this B bomb site. And indeed, you have 4 guys lurking away already. 1 guy watching middle. It's going to be no one. He's already smoking towards that mid double doors, and he's also tagged by the scout, though, of XP3. So the rest of the guys are actually just going to go straight into B if they can, but there you go. That smoke being thrown from the CT side, that's going to hold it off for a bit. I'm wondering if it's going to reset, or maybe from these smokes, what they're going to try to do is smoke out towards that platform side to rotate and try to focus more towards the doorway and the car, and then plow in to try to get the guy in the back of the platform. We'll see once the smoke dissipates, but things are looking very good for a Trifecta to set up for this push.
No one's trying to check down below into the lower tunnels. No one from Winterfox aggressing inside of there just as of yet, so not lining up a flank, but you do have Desi in a position to do so, so it's a very likely scenario. And there's those smokes now coming back in over towards car like you were mentioning before, so they'll have good amounts of control of that area. They still need to take down these players sitting further in the back of the site. XP3 connecting 1, looking for more now, but their teammate is getting pressured. He has to pull out the pistol to hold himself alive.
I don't get
Getting peekaboo there, but actually, he's still alive at this point. But 8, he's also found 2 with the Tech 9, looking to finish off some more, but it's not going to happen. XP3 and Lex finish it off. And Winterfox tied up at 9 rounds.
That was crazy. They won the round, but it was a tad sloppy. Because Lex, yes, thankfully he's still alive the whole round in the back of the platform, but at the same time, nobody's really moving inside the doorway or the window to try to help him out. He's like, oh my god, come. There's actually like 2 guys on the platform shooting at me. But Lex is still trying to scout from that doors at the B side, preventing his teammates from moving in to actually support whenever they can. That could have been bad news if they actually took down Lex a lot faster than it was well, actually, if they actually took him down in the first place, because Lex actually stayed alive, but thankfully, at the end of the day, Winterfox manages to win the round, tied up 9-9, and now some information given here towards long A.
Winterfox did a great read on this because they pushed 3 out here initially. If the nades were thrown like maybe 2 or 3 seconds later, they might have just completely decimated Obey at the beginning of this round. But there we go. There's Anger. He's got the bomb on the ground now too. Unfortunately, his teammate threw a smoke, so they will get it back under their control. But the cage has basically already been rattled here for Obey, and they know exactly what they're going to do now that they're falling away from the long door push.
Yeah, and Lex is just going to get the easy scouts coming through. Another one spotted at the Xbox, getting support at the same time from Desi, but cannot connect. Meanwhile, we do have Slimmy and Breezy getting 2 kills respectively and salvaging an M4 on top of that. So they're bringing 1-to-1 fights. Finally, some support coming through from Catwalk from Flowstick, taking him down. And Breezy is going to be LMS, eats an 8, down to 26. Sort of a one-way smoke, now finally spotted, taken down there. And Winterfox regains the lead in this matchup. And they managed to take the AWP here as well. So we're going to see the first gun round coming through, but not enough economy right now for Obey to actually go for an op unless they go for a glass cannon. But they're going to opt for 4 AKs and a Galil.
I don't think missing the op is going to be too big of a deal because more likely than not, they're still going to be able to, if not outright winning the round against Winterfox, they're still probably going to be able to find anywhere between like 2 and 4 kills, which is enough to keep Winterfox's economy down. And that's something that I was talking about this entire set so far and still really needs to be changed for Winterfox. They really need to try and focus on keeping more of their players alive because that's one of their weakest parts of the CT side is that they just can't keep a good economy going. And immediately, there's no one finding the first entry, and I think Lex got aggressive inside of the B tunnels too, and that's the reason why he died. Yeah,
thankfully there's a smoke there for XP3 to try to go for that pickup at barrels to start things off, but couldn't connect. He gets lightly tied down to 67 and forced to fall back inside A, but there's lots of room to work with for a big Trifecta up at middle and Catwalk. But they are condensed so far. They can't really go for a mid to B because they don't have anybody inside B tunnels. So they're just going to try to take over this Catwalk area. They spam through after Flowstick made a few footsteps. He's down to 19 HP. This could be big for them to overtake Cat now. Anger trying to crossfire with them. The trade's coming through. Anger almost out of bullets. 6 left. The flash, no, it's going to be a smoke that's going to go up first as well. Desi trying to connect towards Xbox, but he gets tagged lightly, and now they're forced to fall back. And you will be able to see this mid push now.
Smoke coming out back over there towards CT, so it is indicating a mid to B push, but they actually fall back and now they're pushing on Cat.
This is huge.
Winterfox completely moving away from this. Hold on, Anger's heard it though. Anger knows it's coming, but he's flashed completely. They don't see them sitting down below, but still they're completely outpositioned right now. They have to fall back. They have to give them some room, and this was a big mistake made by Winterfox now, and a great trick play by Obey.
This is over rotation. You called it. Anger heard it, but by the time he called it, XV3 was already at the lower ramp of the elevator side, so he's not even set up for an op at Playmaker. Now they're forced to play the retake, but you already set up pulse plan on a 4 versus 3. This is it. You're losing this. Why are you still trying to peek 1 versus 1? You don't even have any flashes to work with either. And they just threw away 2 guns, including an AWP, including an AK-47 or an M4, whatever. It was a rifle. Thankfully, on the other side of the map, Desi's able to find this AWP here, but can he save it long enough? They're chasing him, and no. Ape is going to be able to take him down, and you're going to tie things up on a 10-10 score. And really only Flowsick is the one that's healthy on the bye, as well as XP3. That is crazy.
That is unfortunate.
I mean, okay, the mispositioning was there. You called it. They bit the bait. They over-rotated it. But at the same time, Pulse Plant, you're peeking one by one up on Catwalk. Might as well save those 3 guns.
That was ultimately the biggest mistake of that round, because now look what they have coming into this one. We could have still been looking at players that managed to save, being able to drop like FAMASas at least for their teammates, and we still would have had a full rifle buy.
Yeah.
There would have been a pretty big lapse of utility, but they still would have had 5 rifles.
Exactly.
Now they've got a scout on XP3 and just some upgraded, for the most part here, 5.7s on the team. Destiny's able to buy up Deagle, but this has been fairly hit or miss for most of these guys, and well, this time it's going to be a miss.
That's right, but at least Lex is there. But they're not committing on the bait right after for Obey Trifecta. Getting into that kill, they're not committing to say, all right, let's take middle. They're on the save. But the crossbar is still set up. Anger getting a kill up on Catwalk. Lex actually better position. But again, they get the kill into XP3. They're not pushing through. They're doing a great job letting the Winterfox rotate over to them.
We can see Flowsick is going to try to push out to get that battle up over on top middle, but DSR is going to beat him there. Breezy manages to beat out Lex as he attempts to get aggressive, and Anger finishes off DSR at the very least. But again, he's left alone, has an op, doesn't have armor with it, so his big mission right now is going to be to run as far away with this thing as he can and try to save it.
And where can you go? You added 5 seconds as well in a bond timer. This is plenty of time for Obey Trifecta to go on a hunt. You already have 1 guy inside T-spawn, 1 guy lower B, 1 guy watching mid. So at this point, you're gonna know that the Opper is trying to save it towards the A side. Well, you still have Breezy, though, still looking towards inside B, if in case somehow Anger managed to walk through, but that is not going to be the case. Actually, he didn't want to get exited out from the outside B, so smart move there. So at this point, you're looking at that mini-map. Anger should be able to save this AWP unless no one's able to connect up on this staircase.
They're going to get there in time. It's all the matter of
Only no one will.
Wants to push it or not, and it doesn't look like he wants to go for it. He's sitting back. He's waiting for him to push out there, which there's no reason why he would do that. So he sits back. And again, it makes sense when you look at Obey's money right now. They're not like super crazy rich, so don't necessarily want to be wasting the AKs.
Well, at least the AWP salvage, so that saves 4750 for XP3. That's going to give him a chance to get full utilities in a kit as well. And small armor for a few of them, but that's okay. Going for that nade screen. Have 2 guys push inside B for the CT side, 3 guys push towards long, so middle is up for business. Ape trying to get something done, trying to spam through that smoke. But after that spray, you see them move up even more on the CT side. Meanwhile, though, we're converging towards B for the terrorist team, and there you go, mid was open. Breezy just ran through, made it towards window, got the first kill. Lex has to play up big right now.
Lex has got a little bit of a smoke to support him, but it's gone away. But the 2 headshot connections in a row, Slemmy and No One both go down to him, throwing the smoke out, but caught trading weapons. The trade itself comes in from DSR. Flowsick, of course, still able to hold himself off, back over towards that A site, shuts down Ape, and it's just DSR now in a 1 versus 3, trying to line up those op shots, but at the same time, pressure could be coming in from window at any moment, so he has to be very, very careful about this. Obviously, no way he's going to be able to save. So at this point, it's all about just trying to outmaneuver Winterfox and get as many kills as he can.
Well, the op shots missed from both sides, so XP3 at least spots him inside tunnels, and they are going to try to hunt him down to prevent DSR to save that AWP. And Flowsick's actually making his way all the way up towards green boxes mid.
Ooh.
Nice shot there to even it up on a, well, even it up at least on a 1 versus 1 inside B site if DSR commits to that. And that forces Flowsick to fall back and play a little bit more closer with his teammate Anger. With 34 seconds left on the clock, it seems as though DSR might still want to creep inside here, and that's a little bit of a questionable play, as I'm wondering why XP3 decided to push out and peek from that platform side.
It's basically taking the risk now of either I go in, try to get this plant, die, still get the losing bonus, or I take the risk on staying inside of the tunnels here and potentially risk someone coming up from lower and killing me after the timer's expired. So he's actually going to wait, gets another kill, but Flowsick's too far away, so he has to go for the plant if he wants to try and win the round.
That is crazy. There's only a molly left. He throws it out. And now he blocks himself, so he has to come window. DSR, this is going to be easy for him to spot right now. He spots him. He gets the kill. He clutches another 3 versus 1 against Winterfox. And the first one was on Mirage. This time here, you see the frustration coming through. And that's why I said, why is XP3 peeking out towards that platform side? He basically let DSR have 3 1 versus 1 fights.
Thanks for the molly, Flowsick.
Oh my god.
Made that last 1v1 real easy. It's like, oh, all right, well, I guess I know where he's coming from now. Could have gone for some huge mind game play and pushed through his own molly if he wanted to, but
oh boy.
Pretty big mistake there at the end of it, and obviously the things you mentioned as well. Flowsick He's been stepping up recently, but unfortunately that's going to cost his team pretty heavily. As now, for the first time in almost his entire match, we have a team that actually has like more than a one-round lead. And here comes Breezy and Slemmy, Ape as well, getting themselves into the frags for this round, already being shut down. Winterfox trying to go for an all-in push through middle. Doesn't go very well at all. And Obey are now going to be 3 rounds ahead, 3 more away from closing out this set, knocking Winterfox out and moving themselves onward into the championship bracket tomorrow morning.
And this is not just their, not just Flow6's fault, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was casting at least Winterfox early on this morning when we were playing against Optic on Overpass, this is basically the 3rd time overall for Winterfox where a fake plant came through and they decide to peek out and then they get caught. Anger lost the 1 versus 1 against Shazam because of that.
Now we can see there's going to be a big battle sitting outside of the long doors here. Breezy actually, again, now he's showing up here on the second half. Great positioning there. But Anger, quick on the taps to trade that back, finding a second one. Manages the clothesline no one. It takes him back down, and that's actually going to scare Obey. They're going to fall back inside the doors for the time being and give Winterfox a little bit of room to breathe.
You saw Slemmy able to creep up towards Catwalk, though. He could manage to get some sort of flank if he wanted to, because nobody's playing towards Playmaker, and he's not making that much noise. So he's not going to be heard from CT spawn onto Desi, and he might catch XP3 on this rotation as well. There you go, spotted, tagged.
Not bagged.
Yeah, not bagged, and the wall shot coming through though. Slemmy, or should I say XP3, looking to connect for that shot. The white peak comes through and he does not connect, so this gives an advantage right now for the rest of the Ts who decide to fall back towards Lawn to move up towards Catwalk. And pushing through the smoke, it's going to be Anger, so this is a triple kill for him. He's mad.
Desi's going to end up getting dropped there by DSR. They do get some forward momentum going, but they need to get onto this site very quickly as Lex is on his way and he is going to be flanked. Whether they realize this or not is going to be a question, but they're keeping their eyes on it and they're keeping that as a real possibility. But at the same time, Anger now revealing himself. DSR is able to shut down Lex. And now it's a 1 versus 2 here for Anger. They should safely be able to plant. He's trying to take down DSR as he peeks out, gets that one, but 8 peeking out on the left side. Anger doesn't even take a hint of damage. He's still in this 3 bullets, and he closes it out. Nicely done there by Anger. Keeps Winterfox in this match. And now again, tries to bring them that much closer to tying it up for yet another time here.
That's an ace.
And that is going to be a full ace from Anger.
Anger's angry.
He looks pretty calm there. It's like, I got it.
So Anger, he's purple, just like his jersey. But no, what a great hole from him inside that pit, and a great retake as well. I mean, this was individual play from Anger on that retake, and even the hold in the first place for Winterfox. So great job for him to try to keep the dream alive for Winterfox, because at this point, I'd be demoralized if I were in their shoes.
His movement, too, was actually really impressive. Obey were completely caught off guard so many times when he tried to, like, outlet that positioning at pit was really good. And then when he maneuvered around that smoke, when he was trying to get himself back over there towards ramp, and then super patient the entire time he's sitting there, waits like at least like 10 to 15 seconds until these guys feel secure before he actually peeks back over there on ramp. And that's when he just shuts it down in that 1 versus 2. Great play from him. XP3 and Anger, though, after we see one initial kill going on to Flowsick from the side of Obey, starting this off, they trade it back, but Slemmy, he's able to trade 2 more back in their own favor, shuts down Desi and Lex, and now it's down to a 3 versus 2. Members of Obey a little bit spread out at this point, but there's
nice
XP3,
shot.
the wild peek through middle, shuts down Slemmy and puts this back down to an even traded scenario once again.
So lucky for them that the bomb actually didn't fall down inside CT spawn after losing the push from XP3. A nice flash coming in from Winterfox at the same time, and because of that, they're going to be able to get the plant for long, and they've anticipated though for Winterfox's side. This is where you're going to see XP3 trying to move in, missing with the P2K, trying to go with the off shot, but at least they know the last guy's inside the pit. The bomb is planted for him though. Can no one actually clutch this? No, he can't. Anger still goes crazy, getting a triple kill this round. So an ace and a triple kill, that makes 8 in total. If you're good at mathematics, there you go. That's it.
He's getting hype now, man.
Huh? He's 25 and 20, carrying the team so far in the last 2 rounds, making it 1 round closer to 13-13, but so much money still. Thanks for that plant from Obey Trifecta. This is going to be the big test right now for Winterfox still.
That's a huge bring up from him. XP3 as well with some very impressive shots that round, that aggressive.
Because look at this.
There. Yeah.
Despite them winning those last 2 rounds, thanks to Anger's backpack, they still have no money to work with. If they lose this round here, they're going to be totally reset, and then Obey Trifecta could be in a situation where they're going to be at series point. So they have to absolutely win this round against Obey Trifecta and also break their economy on their side as well, because they're also at 0 for 2 of the guys. 150 for DSR, 400 for Slemmy, and only 1,000 for no one. They lose this round here, they'll get $2,400. So they have an advantage as well for Winterfox to actually take the lead should they win this round.
This is going to come down to the wire.
Maybe Richard Lewis is white. Maybe Richard Lewis is white to say it's going to be 16-14. Might as well continue on that
I was about to
as
say,
I'm fumbling my
I think you're
words.
right, but yeah, then you went and did that whole thing. So, all right, I don't have to say that anymore. So here we go now for the members of Winterfox. We did see Anger taking up that aggressive positioning once again, but he's like right in front of the door. XP3, not the best start. That's a huge flash and misses his first connection shot there too. Breezy finds Anger, and now XP3's pinned. He's got to fall back. Thankfully, Breezy himself actually moves away, so he is going to be allowed to keep himself alive at the time being. But the A site's already in full control of Obey. They've also got players positioned like all throughout other parts of the map here too. So this is going to be very, very rough now for Winterfox. But XP3 starting to move back down towards long. No one else has actually like come in from the side of Obey to try to challenge that just as of yet. So this is actually a pretty lapsed retake at the moment. There's Winterfox. Desi finding one and a second now. Desi picking up a third. So far this is all the Desi show here. Finally, Flowsick comes in to steal at least one, but here comes no one too. They don't even see it, but he's going to be way too late to the party. The bomb's already defused, and why are you even here? I guess to find some kills.
Yes.
Gets one at least, but he's traded out.
And thankfully, there's a bomb plan. So now I wonder if Obey is going to take a pause or if they're going to decide to just say, all right, let's save and go for the rest and go for a force buy the round after. But man, what a nice retake there for Winterfox. I thought it was GG as soon as XP3 missed his first op shot. And with those smokes towards Playmaker and towards that boxes at the A site, would have been easy for Obey Trifecta to move in and get the plant and just hold. But somehow they're just moving in, out position. Desi just going full A map right now on Dust2. Retakes that site with his teammates and evens it up at 13-13. And at the same time, like I said, they absolutely couldn't lose that many players. They only lost 2, so it wasn't so bad.
Yeah, and also like I was saying before too, Obey like had like all these other players sitting off the site that could have outpositioned members of Winterfox, but like they never do anything with them. So it's like a complete waste of space from Obey. And unfortunately, with not that many players on the site, it just gets a little bit rough. So a 4-for-1 trade to start off this round, and already 5. That's a shutdown now from Winterfox. This is starting to get very, very rough for Obey because not only does Winterfox now have the lead again, they actually are starting to build up an economy.
Yeah. Thankfully for them as well, it is that mid-to-B split that we actually finally saw. But why I'm saying thankfully for them is because they actually had the CT spawn player playing on the top of the boxes, so you could still see above that smoke that was thrown for CT spawn. So we actually saw a few guys heading towards that window side and towards the door. Gave a better chance for Lex to actually get that spray inside the window side and get some support as well from Flowsick on that rotation from middle side to just hold it back. So they take the lead. Now we finally see this pause because we want to know what we're going to try to do. I mean, if you're looking at the economy of Obey so far, they absolutely can go for this buy. I mean, they're at $4,800 at the lowest guy. For 2 of the guys, that's DSR and Slemmy. Yes. Is it going to be an AWP glass cannon that they might want to try to use here? And it looks like it's going to be the case. I mean, no one already purchased one. He's looking to possibly drop it for DSR. DSR at this point could go for armor, maybe drop a Tech 9 for no one. I mean, it's tough. I mean,
they're also going to be on full losing bonus after this, so there's like not a whole lot of economical pressure on these guys right now. Like even if they outright like just get destroyed on this round and they don't get a plant, they're still able to get a fairly decent force with like Galils and probably a couple being able to escape with AK buys as well here. But if they get the plant, they'll still be perfectly well off with going for another buy. This pause is purely like strategic because they've been trying a couple different things down these past few rounds, and finally Winterfox have like gotten the hang of what they're trying to throw at them, so they just started to shut them down consistently. That hasn't been happening at all throughout this half. So now that they've been figured out, they need to take a pause and come up with something different to try and throw Winterfox off. Yeah,
because I think now at this point too, you're looking at the way they've executed a few rounds. I mean, the way that they've been working towards long, it was shut down a few times by Anger. It was shut down a few times, I think, by XP3 as well when he's opting towards that area. I think the only time that they actually had something going for them is when they actually have that smoke and they're spraying through that smoke. No one did a few times. They got a few sprays, a few kills at the same time. But they don't really commit towards a full push at long A to take that control and then reset right after. They tried to go for push it towards catwalk. That didn't work as well. Counter flash is coming through from Winterfox, whether it be to hold or to retake. It worked well in their favor. Mid to B doesn't work either. Maybe just they're going to try to push into B. Maybe that would be the easier way to work for Obey Trifecta. There's no weaknesses in the past few rounds of the CT side played for Winterfox. This is a huge comeback for them in this match.
Fast cat from XP3 though, back over here towards middle as he's going to try to scout out any action towards this area. And he might just get some too, as some of the members from Obey Trifecta are on the way now to try and cover this. They don't even realize he's here, but he's going to miss that connection.
Yeah, 2 lined up on top of that.
Yeah, that could have gone a completely different direction, but now he's spotted the info at the very least, so he knows that there is going to be a presence here. Unfortunately, he can't do much with that because now they're going to push their way in through middle. They actually wait for someone to peek too, which is great because now they take down Desi. Basically have 0 consequence to them. The smoke rolls in, not the best smoke, so they can actually push through this.
The bomb is moving himself.
But
the bomb is moving by himself.
That's going to be it there. Slemmy goes down. Ape did manage to come back in there, pick up another kill back over on towards Flowsick, but they still have not done this in an area where they can actually retrieve the bomb, so they've lost it. And the final 4 are going to have to try to come in through middle again and retrieve that.
Yeah, like I mentioned, the mid to B was probably what they're going to try to do. And unfortunately, though, I don't know if it's because of counter flashes that were being thrown by Winterfox, but at the end of the day, there was only the bomb carrier, Slimmy, that made his way out, and everybody else was still stuck at the door. So that's what I'm assuming. There was a flash. People were like, oh my god, flashbang dance. They're falling back against each other.
Ooh.
But DSR is able to open it up, making it a 4 versus 2 situation in favor of Obey Trifecta. So nonetheless, they could still win this one here. He's not getting support from Lex either. Here's a smoke for mid to B. Anger gets the first kill, getting pushed out, but Lex gets a double kill. It's now down to a 1 versus 1. Can Lex clutch this, or can Ape clutch this? Ape picking up that bomb. 18 seconds left on the clock. He's going to have to rush towards CT spawn, but a nice smoke coming through here. Oh, just the timing, just the timing. That gave a chance for Ape to actually move up towards the elevator and plant inside the A-bomb site. On top of that, plant for longs. So if he actually goes for the jump, no, he's going to go for a catwalk. And Lex, meanwhile, is going all the way at long. And does Lex have anything to work with? No, he only has a kit. This is huge.
This is going to come down basically to the wire for Lex here because he has to figure out where Ape is, take him down, and then actually get to the defuse. And he's wasting so much time trying to check like Pit and make sure he's not hiding out towards Goose or whatever. So as he's going to make his way up here, you can already hear the bomb is probably close to already halfway past the timer at this point. Also got to be careful of Ape just picking him off immediately from Cat 2. Jumps up, and it's way out towards long, so he's going to be out in the open. This should be an easy clutch for Ape. Waiting for him to peek from that box. That's not where he is. He's coming from the other direction. Ape knows he's got him now at this point. Falling away, just making sure he doesn't get it. Lex has managed to find the kill, but it's far too late. That bomb's blowing up, and Obey will once again be able to tie things up now at 14 rounds.
They still have enough economy right now. I mean, Desi's broke at 2.4, but you still have Lex able to drop something, drop a FAMAS maybe for his teammate. XP3 is going to buy an op, and this is do or die this time for Winterfox. They lose this round here, they're going to be broke while it's game point situation for Obey Trifecta. Winterfox wins this round, money's reset for Obey Trifecta, and they're going to have to go pistols against Winterfox. This is crazy.
So now
you might see that 16-14 that Richard Lewis called.
Yeah.
And I said it in proper English this time.
You just made a longer sentence, so if you screwed up a word, it wouldn't be so consequential. And like of all the words you could have messed up, it was that one.
Yeah, I know.
And you messed it up.
I know.
To say white instead of right.
That's true.
So there you go. All right, so DSR gets aggressive, but Anger is going to be able to spot that. Takes him down there.
I think that was an op, right? In the hands of DSR.
I believe so. Actually, I'm not entirely sure on that, because that would have been like a weird way to peek, like the fact that he wasn't scoped in or anything. If you want to check that on the free cam real quick.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like it, but we'll confirm that in a second. Freezy in a minute here might actually get challenged by Lex too, because he's taking a position just outside of the mid doors, but there's XP3. They don't have any coverage on Cat right there, so he's able to line up one of the players, spots a second, sees Breezy along with his teammate there, No One, starting to push their way back up. And No One's been hit down pretty low too. He's sitting at 35 HP. So these players are going to be extremely low right now. And either that op has disappeared, by the way, is like gone into the void, or he just didn't have one, which I think is the more likely case.
Yeah, I think maybe he didn't have one after all. But 14 of 14, they're going to try to push for this mid to B. It has worked a bit last time and left it to a 1 versus 1. But actually, the B side's open for business. There's nobody in there. Dizzy's actually played it from the tunnel side. At least he spots No One, tags him down to 35, trying to win this fight. And at least we'll be able to get this bomb plant coming through. Now XP3 is already with the AWP, so they know that nobody's crossed back inside the tunnel side, so they're all playing towards site. He gets the close range. Anger then onto 8. Last man standing is going to be Breezy, taken down by XP3. The fuse coming through as well, but with this bomb plan, adds a little bit more hope for Obey Trifecta in this last round, possibly, of this game, or will we see overtime?
Yeah, the $900 should be able to put them to a point where even at the very worst of circumstances, more than likely these guys should still be able to afford like a Tech 9 Force. And for most of these guys, that's what we're going to see. A couple, I think at least one of these guys should be able to afford a Galil Slemmy, but a choice will be made here on whether he actually wants to go for that or buy the Tech 9 and have much more utility sitting behind it, which is what it looks like he's going to go for here. So he's the one that's going to be able to have a Molly sitting behind it. The rest of these guys just are able to get themselves with like, for the most part here, it's like a smoke and 2 flashbangs. But Ape as well gets himself into a pretty good position, so he can get an HE and a Molly as well. So they're not very bad utility at all. It's just about working those Tech 9s. And this is going to be their last chance to do it here, because Winterfox are sitting on match point. But as well, if they can rush out this tunnel here and manage to take down the 2 natural defenders, look at how far away that rotation's going to be.
Yeah, and the amount of times we've seen desperate plays with pistols from T side that actually pans out, I'm not taking anything away from Obey Trifecta. They could actually get this done. Lex is making so much noise inside the tunnels right now, but he's going to try, Desi's going to try to bait out his teammate first. So there's no Molly. Actually, they do have Mollies, and they're actually not throwing towards that left side corner yet. The flash is coming through. And they're letting him in, but Breezy gets the opening kill. Lex still at the car side, going for a double kill, but he's lit. He's trying to get some support from the doorway side. He gets a trip kill, and this could be it. Abe, the last man standing, getting 2 Tech-9 kills. It's a 2 versus 1, 55 seconds left on the clock, misses the off shot, looking for that bomb to get picked up, and they're still moving in for the window side. And can he get that clutch? He misses another one.
4 shots left in the out, so he's got to be careful of that, but he's going to connect one of these now, takes down
Oh, no.
Flosick, just has to figure out where Anger's coming from now. Flash out the window, not really going to connect onto him, he's waiting for it, and Anger comes out on top in the 1 versus 1. Winterfox managed to take the set 2-1, 16-14 on the final map, and they'll just barely move on into the championship bracket tomorrow.
That's crazy. That's cray.
Ooh, if he had clutched that, man.
I would have been so furious because Flosick actually moved inside that window side to bring that fight 1 versus 1 against 8, and then it came down to a 1 versus 1 again. That was going to be the same situation with DSR. Instead of being a 3 versus 1, it was going to be a 2 versus 1. And then we would have seen overtime where Winterfox would have been tilted. And I think it could have gone to Obey Trifecta's side. I mean, they played lights out. You can't take anything away from Obey Trifecta. They played well as Nexus for that Toronto land. They had some upsets. They almost had another upset here against Winterfox. But final score in this series, going to a 3rd map, 16-14, it's going to be them versus Enemy GG.
And honestly, again, with all things considered here too for Winterfox, that could be a very rough match for them tomorrow if they don't go back and prepare for it. There were a lot of mistakes being made by Winterfox in that set. The economy, probably the biggest thing. They almost never really had a stable CT economy for the entire 3-map set there. T-side looked a little bit better on the 1st and 3rd maps, but on that 2nd map as well, they were struggling with the same issues. So they need to go back. They need to make some of their own improvements. This is a victory, but it's a very iffy one at best. And against Enemy tomorrow, if they make some of those same mistakes, it could be a rough set.
Well, we almost seen an upset coming in from Obey. We've almost seen upsets from EZG as well when they played off against Splice yesterday. But at the end of the day, the teams that we expected to move on are the teams that are moving on. So it's going to be, we're going to let Ashley the desk talk about that a little bit later as we're going to close this off here at the desk, or at least the caster's desk for Blue and myself, Van Silly. Going to throw it down there to Sir Scoots, Blue, and Richard Lewis to close off the night. Sorry.
Creamy Moses.
Hey, Blue, how are you doing, bro?
I like the fact that
Blue throw the Creamy Moses in there. He's too young for this.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? You're doing a cast with Blue.
Yeah.
How can you think Blue's on the desk?
He's just lost it.
Telling you,
Straight
brother.
lost it.
Oh, we're all losing
You'll
our
never work
minds.
in this town again.
Columbus.
All right, so
The Vegas of the Midwest.
I think we're going to officially rename Winterfox to Angerfox because, again, they were going to, my opinion, my humble, holy host opinion, they were well on the way to losing that until around round 24. Anger decides, no, this isn't going to happen. Aces, and then again, clutched all the way through it.
Yep.
Yeah, they got really lucky that Anger showed up in a big way. That ace, the next round, I think he got like 3 kills, that 1-on-1 at the end, which is, again, I mean, it was so crazy to see that Obey in this match played the clutches and the situationals much, much better than Winterfox for the most part, outside of those rounds by Anger.
Yeah.
And, you know, look, I think, I'm sorry, you keep doing this thing where you like, over the course of a cast, you just get more and more progressively. How much,
How many buttons, boys?
New hashtag for 2016.
How many buttons do you want at home, boys
Hairy
and girls?
Moses, right? So anyway.
Do I not have enough hashtags out there right now?
I think we'll get one out there. So anyway, I want to give a shout out to Lex as well because I thought in the hard yards, those late rounds, you know, I thought he was incredible. He actually made some real good 2-man, 3-man. He made that clutch as well, that 1v1.
And he almost clutched at the very end.
Yeah, he almost clutched right at the end.
Yeah,
exactly. So, you know, I thought he had some good moments, which, you know, you wouldn't normally associate with him. But look, we were critical of Anger. We said he had to step up, and he actually proved what he can do there. Look, I think he's got a long way to go. One performance doesn't necessarily make it the man, but he's dragged his team kicking and screaming through this one. And, of course, shout out to me because I said it would be 30 rounds.
Oh,
feel me?
Good stuff. Yeah, and again, we have been very strong on them. I mean, they have to win.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, they got a tough road ahead of them. They get to play Enemy tomorrow, and again, Optic is going to take on Splice. Thankfully, Van Silly. No, wait, who's got him? Yeah, we got Anger. And here's schedule first. Let's do that first. So tomorrow's
You missed.
It's all gone bad at the end. I'm doing a magic trick with my tie. Right.
It's just all gone to shit.
It's Kusa time, boys.
Schedule tomorrow. Basically, the first match. All you need to know. It's Enemy taking on Winterfox. There it comes. There you go. And then the
beautiful
Optic Gaming taking on Splice. And again, the cool thing about all 4 of these teams is no matter what, they're all going to at least get invited for one more shot for the online last chance qualifier.
Correct.
Second, third, fourth place will get that. First place obviously goes to the next offline qualifier. So again, prize money on top of this as well, which is also nice. Let's take a quick look at the championship bracket. Again, break it out for you in a different way. Same information. There you have it. Again, $30,000 for first place. And again, not a bad prize purse for this. And some of these teams, that's, $100 grand to Fnatic is, $30 grand to these guys. It's tier 2 to tier 1,
it looks sketchy at times, but we do have all 4 Pro League teams that were in this tournament as the Final Four. I mean, we didn't think we were going to get there for a minute.
No, we didn't. I mean, let's be real. The teams that aren't going to be there on the last day, they've actually acquitted themselves pretty well here. It just shows there isn't a lot of disparity in terms of talent down there. But these are the teams with the reputations. They're the ones going in there. And like I say, I'm pleased to see it. I'm glad that we got some of the bigger names going into the final day.
Yeah, and again, bittersweet. Would love to have seen the Brazilians here. They did qualify. They deserve a nod for qualifying for this. Had visa issues. Complexity got invited. Would love to have seen how Fraud would have done against these teams. Going to have to wait for another day.
Isn't that bracket backwards? Isn't Enemy playing Winterfox? Splice playing Optic?
Yeah, the bracket we just showed you is actually incorrect. It's Optic taking on Splice and Enemy taking on Winterfox.
I was going to say that.
Props to me for pointing out the error.
The schedule is accurate. Schedule accurate, bracket not accurate. That being said, I think that's going to wrap it up. Final thoughts from you guys?
Just been a great day. Great to do some work with Moses. I think all the talent
nice
here
to finally work with you, bro.
been amazing.
We'll never see you again, but it was nice.
Yeah. You never work in this town again.
Get out of my
get out of my industry. But yeah, look, it's been great, and I think like at the end of the day, the team that's probably the 2 teams that have impressed me the most. Got to shout out to Enemy and obviously Optic as well. But they both did their job. I'm looking forward to seeing them in the final.
There you have it. Your final thoughts?
Oh wow, there's a statement. I'll actually echo that. That was great. Winterfox, you need to go get a good night's sleep. Wake up, prepare some stuff because
we all do.
Done. That's it.
All right.
Time. Let's just get on with it.
Thank you, gentlemen. Now, we're not quite done with talking to you guys because we have grabbed the man of the hour. Anger is going to get interviewed by our man Launders. Take it away, and we will see you guys tomorrow.
Hey, I'm here with Todd Anger Williams after the elimination match at the CEVO Minor. You guys just played Obey. Did you expect to go 3 maps?
No. We underestimated them greatly, and DSR was raping us with a knot. So.
Do you know anything about these players? Obviously a relatively new lineup, coming their first LAN.
Not really that much like knowing about them. We scrimmed them a few times. They were pretty good in scrim, so they showed up and it took it to 3 maps. It was really scary.
So map pool wise, did you get what you wanted?
Yeah, we're comfortable in all 3 of the maps, I think. Like Mirage being like one of our really our better maps. And Inferno normally is like a really strong map for us, but it didn't go our way. So
on Mirage, you guys actually were able to come back on CT side. You started CT half. I think they didn't get around on their CT side. You guys went A a lot. You guys finished 9-6. Came away with a pistol.
We executed A lot. We split through connector fast. That's basically all we really did, and we just did a default spread out and just waited.
So why were they so weak at A?
They're allowing us to split connector a lot, and we could just flank all the guys A. Like if we have no people like shooting at us when we're splitting, we could just we have the A bomb site, we're up connector, and our smokes are jungle and cat from like spawn, so they couldn't do anything. After we get the picks, they would be forced to retake, and it was like an easy round.
Now you said you felt pretty good on Mirage, about 180 R Mirage, but you really shined on Dust too. Were you just feeling it? Do you feel like the pressure was making you play better? Or?
I was pretty nervous. I won't lie. My heart was racing, and as soon as we ecoed them at long when I had a deagle, I knew I was feeling it. So I was doing more risky plays, and I killed the guys long when they split A, aimed cat, killed one single box, and I 1v2'd at the end and I aced. Then the next round, I was spawned. He was just on top of the box in the smoke, and I one-shot him. And one-shot got a pit, but honestly, in my opinion, it should never come to that. It shouldn't be that close. Yeah. We're doing so many misplays on our team. We need a lot of work.
How did you end up in CT on that round if you're Deddy long?
Sorry, what?
You're dedicated long, right?
Yeah, I'm dedicated.
How did you end up in CT that round?
I think that got a pick mid, or I boosted people cat, and they they came out long in me, so I was like forced to fall back spawn, and I played retake. I'm pretty sure. I think that's what happened.
It honestly seemed like you were the hardest part of the map for them. If they wanted to come long, even when DSR lurked in on one of that second last round, I think you got that opening frag.
Yeah.
You were really like at least getting 1 frag, if not 2, at long every round.
Yeah.
When they started going mid B, like what was that? What did that do for you in your head? Were you like, do I have to push long now, or?
I had to think of a lot of things. Do I anchor if they're faking? Do I just wait? Hopefully my teammates get a couple kills. Do I fall back instantly and try to like help like the mid to B split?
Yeah.
Do I push? There was a lot of things I was thinking. I just opted to play it safe. One round I even saved an op. I just didn't want to be the reason we lost, so I was, just anchored as best as I could.
Yeah, so if you're playing really well, do you take that responsibility in your own hands, or do you wait for XP3, who's calling for Winterfox, to let you know what to do? Do you give him, like, suggestions?
On our CT side, I give him a lot of suggestions on, like, our setups. Normally. I haven't done it that much recently, but if I'm feeling it and I want to position myself, like, differently, I call it and we, like, form a CT setup around it, yeah.
Nice.
So.
Well, you came away with a really exciting game. I want to thank you for your interview. Do you want to shout out your sponsors?
Sure. Shout out to our sponsors, SteelSeries and CyberPower PC. Thank you so much for supporting us. We love the computers at the office. You guys are great.
Awesome. Now I'll come back tomorrow at 8:45 EST, 9:45 EST for the finals of this minor right here live. Take care.
Join us on April 1st through the 3rd at the Nationwide Arena in Columbus, Ohio. Watch the best teams in Counter-Strike Global Offensive go head-to-head for a guaranteed prize pool of $250,000.
He could be able to get this. Got the ace clutch! Shazam!
Teams like Fnatic, Envious, Virtus Pro, and many more will be there. Be sure to check out the VIP package for the ultimate esports experience. Buy your tickets now at mlg.tv/csmajor.